What's up, YouTube? This is Bystander X79. Guys, today I'm coming to you with my latest deck profile for November 2019, and today we're going to be doing my Danger Darkworld deck. Alright? Now, guys, if you checked out Team FTK, I posted a version that I was running late last month after a month of testing it, and I can tell you right now, the deck was good. It did what it did, but after another month of testing, I can tell you right now, the version I have right now does what it needs to do. It puts bodies in the board, it can take cards off your opponent's field, and most importantly, it is streamlined to do just that. We don't have to worry about insanely long combo strings or anything about that. This is about just removing problematic cards off the field and beating your opponent down. Very simple. Alright? So without further ado, we're going to get right into this. Excuse me. Start with the Danger side this time. Alright? 2 copies of Danger Bigfoot. Alright. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the Danger archetype, okay, Dangers have 2 effects. Alright? They have a discard effect, which is a hard once per turn, and then they have their special summoning effect, which I call the Hunt effect. Alright? Basically what happens is that you reveal a Danger monster from your hand to your opponent, put it back in your hand, you shuffle your hand, and then your opponent randomly selects 1 card out of your hand. If it's the card you revealed, you discard that card. If it's not, you special summon the Danger card to the field, and you draw a card to keep your hand economy strong. Alright? So that's how the Hunt effect works. Okay? Now, with that saying, the discard effects on all the Danger monsters are all different. Bigfoot, when you discard it, can target a monster that's on the opponent's field and destroy it, which is actually very good. Alright? Coming up next, we got 2 copies of Danger Chupacabra. Alright, Danger Chupacabra is a Dark Attribute level 4 Fiend type monster, which really jives well with the rest of the Dark Worlds. Alright? Being able to utilize things like the Gates of Darkworld with this card in the graveyard is awesome. Its discard effect is basically a monster reborn for the Danger archetype. Alright, so it allows you to get a big beat stick monster back onto the field from your graveyard, which is actually very good. Alright. Next card we're going to be running is going to be 3 copies of Danger Mothman. Okay. Danger Mothman is basically a guaranteed draw. Whether you special summon it or get it into the graveyard, you're going to be drawing cards. Alright? Its effect basically allows both players to draw a card and then discard a card. So you're basically effectively getting an additional danger effect depending on what you're discarding off of this card's effect. So it is actually very good. Alright, the last Danger in this deck is going to be 2 copies of Danger Thunderbird. Alright, Thunderbird will go, when it's discarded to the graveyard, will target a set spell or trap on your opponent's field and pop it. Alright, very awesome. Alright, now you're probably wondering what happened with Nessie, Tsuchinoko, and Jack. It's just that I was playing them in the previous build, and after this month of testing, it kind of dawned on me that those cards are really more suited for longer combo string themed decks. This deck really jives on the short 1, 2, 3 combos, just to turn around and be able to do what it does and beat your opponent down. So, it's not that those cards aren't inherently bad, it's just that I don't like the whole idea of this deck spending a few minutes to get to the point where I want to be when I can just do it with 3 cards. Alright? So that's the whole reason why they're not in this deck. Alright? Danger side, oh, that's the Danger side. Dark World side, we're going to be doing 3 copies of Grapha. Alright, Grapha. Now, all Dark Worlds monsters have to be discarded by a card effect in order to get their effects from the graveyard. When Grapha is discarded, you get to turn around, target any card on your opponent's field and destroy it, which is awesome. Any spot removal would be back row or front row, which is just huge. Grapha also has the ability to special summon itself back from the graveyard by bouncing a Dark World card, specifically a Dark World monster, from your field back to your hand to get him to special summon out of the graveyard, which is actually very awesome. Alright. And one of the cards you want to be utilizing with Grapha will be the copy of Beige here. Alright, Beige, when this effect goes off in the graveyard after it's discarded by a card effect, it special summons himself back onto the field, so it's another free level 4 body, so you can get the whole idea of utilizing rank 4s in this deck, as well as extra bodies to turn around and link off with, if you need to extend that far. Alright, mainly I'm using him with Grapha to bounce him back to the hand, so I always have something in hand to summon Grapha with. Alright. 3 copies of Brow, the Huntsman of Darkworld. Alright, Brow, discard this guy, you draw your card. Very simple. More draws in this deck, the better. Alright, and then last but not least, for the Darkworld monsters, 3 copies of Snow, the Unlit of Darkworld. Basically, discard Snow and you're searching your deck for any Darkworld card, whether it be monster or spell. Okay? Now, some extra support cards to help this deck get going. We have 1 copy of Armageddon Knight. Armageddon Knight is essentially a foolish burial for all Dark Attribute monsters on his summon, so that's actually very good. Alright, one of the cards you want to be sending would be Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. Zephyros the Elite has a very good, cool interaction with the Darkworld Fill Spell. Basically, once you utilize Darkworld Fill Spell to get a draw for your turn, and you have Zephyros in the graveyard, you can actually bounce the Field Spell back to your hand to special summon Zephyros to the field, and then you can actually reactivate the Darkworld's Field Spell and utilize its effect a second time during your turn, which is actually very good. Alright. Run 1 copy of Dark Grepha. Dark Grepha, you basically pitch a high-level Dark Attribute monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon him. Again, a level 3 Dark Attribute level 4 body. On the field is always a good thing. And then while it's on the field, you can pitch another card, Dark Attribute monster from your hand to send another Dark Attribute monster from your graveyard. So this guy can load up your graveyard pretty easily. Alright, and one of the cards you want to be sending off of either Armageddon Knight or Dark Grepha is going to be Gizmic Orochi here. Orochi, while he's in hand or in the graveyard, you can banish the top 8 cards of your deck face down and special summon them out. And then on another turn, you could actually banish the top 3 cards from your extra deck face down to pop a card off your opponent's field. Or actually pop a monster off your opponent's field. So you get that extra spot removal. It is a little level 8, so it can help facilitate rank 8 plays. Alright. And the last tech card that I've been recently testing out and found out that it's actually super good in this deck is going to be 2 copies of Artifact Lancia. Basically, you can tribute this guy from your hand, and it stops your opponent from banishing things out of the graveyard, which is just a nightmare situation for Orcus players. Alright, shut down those decks and they can't really do anything. Alright, moving forward. 3 copies of Allure of Darkness, pretty standard in any Dark Attribute deck. Helps you draw deeper into your deck to see your combo pieces. 1 copy of Foolish Burial to help get things that you need into your graveyard, whether it be Orochi, Blackwing Zephyros the Elite, or Grapha. Alright, Reinforcement of the Army so you can see Armageddon Knight or Dark Grepha a little bit quicker. 2 copies of Super Polymerization. Alright, this card is a cost, not effect, so you're not going to be getting the Darkworld Monsters effects off this card's cost, but you will get the Danger cards effects off the cost, so keep that in mind. Fusing 2 of your opponent's monsters, or 1 of your monsters with your opponent's monster, very useful to help clear the board of your opponent's problematic monsters. Very good key card to actually have in this meta right now. And of course, I'm actually running 2 copies of the Gates of Darkworld. To be honest, I was running 3. 2 is a better ratio in my opinion, primarily because there have been times when I've drawn into the 3rd when I really needed a monster, and other times when I had multiple copies in my hand and I didn't have enough monsters in the graveyard to utilize his effect. So 2 is really the more optimal choice in the ratio for this stack build here. And last but not least, we are running 8 level 8. Okay, so 3 copies of trade in just to help draw deeper into your deck. Alright, and last but not least, I am running 3 copies of Dark Smog. Yeah, you can see I'm proxying one right now. I thought I had 3 copies. I only had 2. Should have got the 3rd copy. I think the store I bought it from only had 2 at the time. So, and that was years ago. So, but anyway, 2 copies of Dark Smog. Discard a card from your hand, and you basically are able to discard a Fiend monster from your hand. And you're able to target a card in your opponent's graveyard and banish it, which is actually very good. You can chain it to any of the Orcus effect to basically get rid of that Orcus from activating, and it just hurts your opponents. Okay? So good with this meta. Necessary. Okay? For the extra deck, I mean, the deck really doesn't need it, but it does help out when it's good. Of course, we have the Cypher package here. Alright? So effectively, we got Galaxy Ice Cypher Dragon to steal an opponent's monster. We got Galaxy Ice Full Photon Dragon to basically pop a card, and then Cypher Blade to pop another card. So, field removal. Now, you could run the Gear Suit over number 38, but I'm liking number 38 in this deck a little bit better. Primary reason is because not only when it negates a spell, it takes that spell and adds it to itself as a material, which is actually pretty damn awesome. And not only that, but you could actually detach materials from him to actually force your opponent to attack him instead of some of your weaker monsters that are on the field, which adds a pretty good layer of defense for this deck. Alright. Rank 4 plays. There's only 2 rank 4s. One is Abyss Dweller. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory with today's meta, so it's necessary to run an extra deck. And I am running 1 copy of Daigusto Emerald. I mean, this deck can just turbo through cards a lot of times without you realizing it. And then this card can actually put 3 of your monsters back in your deck and can draw you an extra card. So it really does help keep the deck going. Alright, for links, 2 copies of IP Masquerena. I've been dying to get this card into a deck finally, and I finally did. Okay, she has this awesome quick effect which allows you to link her off with another monster to go into other monsters, which is just huge. Alright, and then that other monster can't be targeted or destroyed by card effects. Yep, by your opponent's card effects, which is actually pretty damn awesome. Alright, and the monsters you can actually go into, well, you got this shortened Nightmare package, goes at the back row, and this can spin any card off the field, so field control. And then, of course, I am running 2 copies of Saruja Skull Dread. I mean, just being able to go into this card on your opponent's turn to get an extra attack buff onto your monsters, pretty damn useful, and it kind of drops your opponent's jaws at sometimes. This deck doesn't have any problems of pumping out monsters onto the field, so getting its 4-name effect isn't that bad. And in case you need an extra body on the field to basically go for a game, it does have that 3-name effect. So it's very useful in all 3 scenarios. Super Poly targets, we got 1 copy of Muddragon of the Swamp. Muddragon is pretty damn awesome. It takes 2 monsters of the same attribute but with different types. The danger monsters, I mean, alone are pretty much all dark, but all different types, so you can just fuse 2 of them to bring them out, and then he can change his attribute and protect all monsters on your field from card effects, which is awesome. Alright, I am running 1 copy of Diplexer Chimera. Chimera is actually more viable than Salamangreat Violet Chimera now, primarily because it's not just Salamangreats out there. Marionettes are out there. Mathmex just got released. That's an OTK deck, so you're going to want to be able to combat them as well. Code Talkers are getting more and more play. I've seen that deck popping up at locals a little bit more. So that's something you may want to keep on your radar. So being able to deal with any Cyberse deck, you're going to be wanting to have this guy. And of course, we have the Ignister deck coming out in January, so definitely this is something you want to have in your extra decks if you're running Super Poly. And last but not least, you also have, I am running a Starting Venom Fusion Dragon. To be very honest, you can be running the 3 material Predaplant Fusion Monster if you have it in its place. I personally like Starting Venom Fusion Dragon. It just has monster effect negates built in, so okay. And guys, that would be it for my Danger Darkworld deck for November 2019. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this on my channel, make sure to subscribe, enable notifications, especially the YouTube notifications, so you don't miss a single upload. Guys, check out the description box below. Find the invite link to my Discord server. Join the conversation. We'll love to have you. Follow me on Twitter at BystanderX79. And guys, as always, until next time, peace.